The college football playoff is fun for diehards like me, but there's a problem. And it's becoming less important for anyone who's not a diehard like me or a fan of about 3 or 4 schools. Hey, I'm Matt Wyatt. Thanks for stopping by my channel, where I use my experience as a player and broadcaster to explain things about football so you can get more enjoyment out of watching the game. Viewership was way down this year for the college football playoff games, especially the national championship between Alabama and Ohio State. People are starting to lose interest. The national title game on Monday night drew 18 million viewers. Now, hold on. That's a lot of people. Who wouldn't love to have 18 million viewers? ESPN PR says this year's playoffs were cable's best telecasts and the best non-NFL sporting events across all networks since the 2020 playoff last year. Okay, that sounds good. Compared to other college football broadcasts, this did pretty well, as you would expect. But there's a little bit of spin in there. The numbers look okay at first, but they aren't nearly as big as in the past. Stuart Mandel pointed this out on Twitter. The previous low rating for a BCS or playoff title game was all the way back in 2004, when USC blew out Oklahoma 55-19 and only 21.4 million watched it. That previous low was still almost 3 million more viewers than this year. This Bama-Ohio State game set the new low, and it's not particularly close. Mandel pointed out another way to look at it. For the first time ever, the semifinal games actually outdrew the championship. Well, let's see reasons. It was a COVID season. Ohio State played 5 regular season games and got gifted a spot in the Big Ten title game, which turned a lot of people off because it felt less legitimate. Oh, and everyone already knew the outcome prior to kickoff. Anyone with any real feel for football knew the game would be a bloodbath, and it was. Which segues nicely into another factor. The college football playoff isn't title town, it's blowout city. Over the last 3 seasons, playoff games, 3 each year, 9 total, have mostly been non-competitive. The average margin over the last 3 years is 21.5 points. That's actually unheard of in every other major sport, college or professional, for games involving your best teams in the most important games to have that type of score gap. The NFL, in that same time frame, playing more than 3 times as many playoff games, has had an average margin of 9 points. Just one of several reasons the NFL is king, more compelling, makes more money, sells more ads, and has more viewers. Their most important games are closer, and fans invest their time and watch all 4 quarters of the games across all demographics, whether they're a fan of the teams playing or not. College football leaders could learn from that. But what is the solution? Number 1, go ahead and add more teams to this playoff. No, it won't change the results of the semifinals and title games. Those are now and still going to either be Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, or the occasional lightning in a bottle biggin like LSU, maybe Texas someday. However, adding more teams means playing a few more games, giving you a mathematically better percentage chance to get some close games. It's just playing the odds, that's all. Plus, for the time being, it'll redirect some of the growing apathy among most college football fans, inject some needed life into the media conversation, and it'll bring a few fans back to the stadium and TV sets for the next couple of years. It might actually be an added recruiting arrow in the quiver for a few hardworking staffs out there too. Number 2, get the one-time transfer rules as well as the name, image, and likeness standards figured out quickly. Mark Emmert has told us these things are happening. It's just taking longer than some want. Well, get with it. Maybe delay a few sightseeing tours of campuses and Augusta National and schedule a few more Zoom meetings. Just a suggestion. Number 3, back to adding more teams to the playoff. Stop handpicking the teams with some dubious closed-door committee meeting and simply reward teams for winning their conference championship. For the overall health of the sport nationally, therefore more eyeballs, therefore more viewers, etc., you need the Pac-12 champion. You need the Big 12 champion, period. It's a fact. It can't be argued. Leaders in college football have done a good job to this point. Not great, but good. But by now, the law of diminishing returns is kicking in, and it's time for them to figure out where the cheese is being moved next. Flexibility, the greatest strength of any leader, has to be exercised soon. If no change or tweak happens, trust me, the ratings aren't coming back up. The viewers aren't coming back, and they aren't coming back to the stadiums. Change and adapt or wither. It really is that simple for now. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, would you consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that thumbs up for me? I would really appreciate that, and it's a huge help. Also, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. Your feedback's important to me, and you could also hit me up on social media. I'm Radio Wyatt. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.